Farah Damchin. I'm presenting to you Best Foot Forward, which is actually nurtured by Kazuri Properties, which is my company, and SEPA, which is Michael Norton. I want to bring you back to poverty as we experience it in London. Poverty is obviously a global problem, but if you think about London Borough Tower Hamlets, we have 51% of children are living below the poverty level, which is less than £10 a day. We've just been commissioned to pilot our project, which is 20 young women from the London Borough Tower Hamlets, 18 to 25, who suffered any kind of trauma. So that can be care leavers, that can be women who've gone through gangs, that can be prison leavers, that can be women leaving foster care, domestic violence, obviously. And if you think about women as having the potential to be change makers, and we bring these women back into society with the tools to then create situations where employability is an option rather than being completely traumatized and actually I can't do anything because I'm just completely traumatized. And there's a dearth of projects out there with the work program, which we spend £6 billion a year on, that fails these projects over and over again. So we've developed a bespoke resilience and trauma-informed program. My master plan is to have more women in property and construction, because I can't tell you the number of meetings that I go to where it's all men in suits. And then I get an email at the end of it that says, "Dear gentlemen." Hello, I'm a hero. I've asked Maddie to talk to you about the importance of creativity and mindfulness in the process that we take on our women. It's a journey. We don't do anything to them. We're getting away from that donor mindset of I am empowering you and I'm helping you. No, actually, you're doing it for yourself, and we're getting a lot more out of it. We're learning so much in the process of this. And I've asked Kofi, who's another of our trainers and very much involved as a co-founder, to talk to you about part of that journey as well.
Imagine for a moment, if you will, that you don't have your job and you don't have the education that got you that job. And now because you don't have that job, you don't have your home. And you don't have the friends and the family that support you and love you. And you don't have the clothes that you wear. And without any of these environmental indicators, without these comforts, who are you? Over years of self-destructive behavior, one can literally destroy your sense of self. And how do you rebuild that? How do you put a person back together? And how do you help that person re-enter society? Through creativity, artistic processes, and mindfulness exercises, we're helping women rediscover, rebuild, and create a new sense of personal identity and worth. They'll have the opportunity to create beautiful things and reconnect with their own ability to be creative and constructive, figuratively and literally. They'll have a chance to make something that they're proud of and to be proud of themselves. Meditation is possibly the greatest personal development tool anyone can adopt, much less a traumatized young woman. With meditation, it will help them create emotional stability, emotional resilience, self-awareness, self-esteem, and hopefully process and release the emotional baggage of trauma. As a society, we keep trying to push at-risk youth back into the job market, but they're so disaffected and they're so disconnected and they're so traumatized that it just doesn't stick. The prime providers in the work program don't have the skills to deal with the trauma and the issues of the target group. So, what will they learn? They'll learn practical experience, they'll learn about cash flow, and they'll learn about planning ahead, and they're going to learn how to meditate and how to create. What are they going to get? They're going to get experience in workplaces. They're going to build their business skills and their interpersonal skills, and they're going to have an opportunity to create and exhibit artwork. By giving these women the tools and to put themselves back together. And by helping them to their feet, we're helping them put their best foot forward, and we're putting them in the best possible position to make the most of the business and employment programs, which Kofi will speak to you about.
So there's a triple line failure in existing services for women. Our program costs the government £1,500 a year for each woman. It costs £54,000 a year to keep a woman in HMP Holloway. The cost of her incarceration over 10 years is 10 million when we factor in the long-term housing, social services, crisis interventions, police, crime and court costs, and the drain on resources across government departments. What about the human costs? 17,500 women are separated from their children a year. Here's an example of one woman's stories. So she says they have gone off the rails, they've been bunking off school. One was taken to the local hospital A&E department after too much alcohol. They're lashing out. Vicky is halfway through a 2.5-year sentence in a women's prison in Gloucestershire. She has 2 boys aged 12 and 13. Half of the women in British prison are victims of violence, and 1 in 3 has experienced sexual abuse. What about the community cost? Children with a parent in prison are twice as likely to experience mental health problems and less likely to do well at school. And just for the last point for me to remind you that this is somebody's daughter, somebody's sister, and somebody's mother. And something to think about when you're thinking about your donations.